this film, I want to find out in 2012 what it's like to have a tattoo. If there's any discrimination against people that have them, if there's any stigma against them, what it's really like to find employment. Came here to Mr. Nick's tattoo shop to see how much tattooing's changed over the years.
The sounds good, let me under your hood. We can find out what I'm bringing. One bad man.
At school, not all my mates, we were all tattooing each other, you know, with needle and cotton, drawing pictures in school. Yeah, that's what started me off. And then from that, started tattooing in my house, just doing my mates from school, and then local tattooist who was semi-retired, was on me a tattoo gun, a few bits of ink, give me a bit of advice. And then about 3 years later, I weren't being full time. We just become mates, and then he showed me how to do it, and it just went from there. Women getting tattooed. When I started going on, very few women come for tattoos. One in 1,000, people that rare. But since Spice Girls and Robbie Williams, that's what did it. I think it's going to die a death again. I think you're going to see a lot of studios close and disappear. And I think there'll still be tattoos, but I think people will get sick of seeing them. The novelty will wear off, and it's like they start to regret them as they get older, and I think it'll die off again. I don't think it'll boom again. I think the boom was sort of mid-80s to late 90s, and now with recession and that, I think he's definitely dying. Definitely dying off of me. But like the lads who had most tattoos generally worked in construction. You didn't actually go in a bank and see anybody with a sleeve. You didn't go into corner shop and see anybody with a sleeve. It was just lads who were really into tattoos. Usually were in construction game, you know, outdoor workers, rough lads. Nobody had sleeves apart from them boys, whereas now for girls to come in and want tattoos up the side were just unheard of. Because models. Oh, definitely, yeah. Because everybody's got a tattoo now. Over years, I mean, it started in 80s, young girls getting tattooed, but now, I mean, I tattooed a woman from my local bank yesterday. And it's like, I walked about a bank there. They all say, oh, years ago I had a solicitor come in, and it was a talking point back in 80s saying I've tattooed a solicitor or a doctor. Because then people never get tattoos. Whereas this day and age, I could have a doctor walk in and I won't flinch, it won't make me think twice because I've done nurse, I've done everybody now. I mean, I've done health inspector. I've tattooed everybody. And when you tattoo health inspector, you think, well, that lad's had a look round and he's picked the cleanest studio and the best studio in his experience. So when he comes to me for a tattoo, I mean, it's a different health visitor now, but 10 years ago when he come to me, he was like, an health inspector, he hunted my shop out because of his background knowledge, and you think, oh, that's a pat on back without anybody saying anything to you. I don't know. I mean, obviously I've got a 28-year-old son and he's like, every tattoo he's got off his dad. Yeah. Apart from his back, I had another tattooist working for him and he started letting other people tattoo him now, but prior to that he wouldn't let anybody tattoo him. He wanted every tattoo off his dad, so yeah. I mean, I still enjoy tattooing my son because I see me work every year. Yeah. It's like when I go on holiday with him or anything, 10 years later, I can sort of look and think, that's my work from 10 years ago.
You can see how much it's progressed from where you were to where you are now.
And that's it. Yeah. So it's like a photo album. You can look and think, I've got better, or that still looks good 10 years later, which is what I get with my customers now. They're coming in with the son saying, oh, can you remember this? And they show me tattoos I did 15 years ago, and it's like, I'm still proud of them, they still look good, and they're still happy with the work. They're bringing the sons to my shop, and I don't need to advertise. I'm just local tattooist, and people know me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. But also, they've made it look so easy for these wannabe tattooists who order these kits from China. It's like when you watch a brickie build a wall, you think that's easy, but when you try and do it, it's not. He makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And we make tattooing look easy. But a lot of our trade now is putting right homemade tattoos, because a lot of the other tattooists won't do it. But whereas I will, because I like all aspects of tattooing. I remember my tutor, when we used to go to pub, he'd go to the dartboard and just draw a squiggle. And then he'd say, make me a dragon out of that. And that's how you learn to cover things up, just by looking at playing with it. And some tattooists do good cover-ups locally, but they don't like touching homemade tattoos, because it's going to look a mess even when it's finished. You're guaranteed. You can't work miracles.
You can only do what you've got.
Yeah.
There was a woman that worked in an office. She had sleeve tattoos, and the officer said to her, "You've got to wear a cardigan. We don't like your tattoos." Do you think it was right they made her wear a cardigan?
Depends on office. I mean, I don't think you should have to cover your tattoos up, because I think if people judge you by a tattoo, then they're pretty shallow people, especially this day and age. I mean, you can understand if it's like the older generation, say pensioners, because they're from that era of the only people who got tattooed were rogues and villains and ladies who worked the night, for want of a better word. The average lady didn't get tattooed, it was frowned upon. At least that frowning was still going a little bit. But it's like when you lads grow up and you're pensioners, you won't frown on tattoos like your granny did. And it's going to be that generation, your generation, what gets all that frowning out of the way. And it'll all stop. Then you'll be able to work in the office, I reckon, with a t-shirt and your sleeves showing, because it won't be frowned upon. At the minute, they've still got the pensioners going in, and they don't want to lose a customer, they don't want to upset a customer. So I can see that, even if they said, well look, let's move her table to the back a bit, but that's still judging her for a tattoo. So I don't believe in it, because I tattoo everybody, and it's like, I get to see the person.
With my research, I went to speak to a local employer to see if she would either employ someone with tattoos and to get her opinion on tattoos.
I don't mind tattoos. I've always said that I would like one myself. I personally would have one at the bottom of my back and maybe on my foot. Haven't ever got round to having one though, as I'm absolutely petrified of needles and worried that it might hurt me. However, I have found that there's some numbing gel now that you can have, which I'll probably go down that road and have one. My husband has got a tattoo. He's got one on his arm, which looks very good, and he would like to continue to have one on the other arm, but maybe a full sleeve. Personal preference, I don't like tattoos on your face, or you know, like on your head or anything like that, because sometimes I think that it can portray a different image of a person, rightfully or wrongly. When it comes to maybe applying for a job as a manager myself of the store, I think that if somebody came to me with facial tattoos, or even tattoos maybe on their hands, you obviously have to think of the image that your business is trying to portray. And I think if in my line of business, because it's the public eye, I think that if somebody was to work for me with facial tattoos, then maybe that wouldn't be suitable for the role. Some customers may be put off by it, maybe won't feel at ease. I think that somebody shouldn't be discriminated against their looks, because at the end of the day that's what it is. You know, somebody's got a tattoo on their face, then why should they be discriminated just because of that? There is nothing to say that that person can't give just as good a job as somebody without a tattoo on their face. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a mask, and there is somebody behind that mask, and obviously they should be able to show what they're good at. Unfortunately, the times that we are actually in at the moment, I think that a few people will possibly turn their nose up at people with tattoos on their face or hands in particular. I know I've gone for jobs before now, and on the description it said no visible tattoos are allowed. For instance, stewardessing, airline stewardessing, you can't have any tattoos on your hands or on your arms, anything like that.
Well, the things that I've seen, people I've spoken to, I can see tattooing is a much bigger part of our society than we actually realise. But the grey area of employment does still need work. From employers speaking to prospective applicants, discussing contracts, discussing tattoos in general will help massively.